Hariprasad Shastri. Hariprasad Gangashankar Shastri 17 October 1999, August 2014 was an Indian scholar, historian, epigraphist, indologist, and editor primarily known for his work on the political and cultural history of Gujarat state. He spent much of his career at the B.J. Institute of Learning and Research, Ahmedabad as a lecturer, professor, deputy director, and then as director. Early life. Hariprasad Shastri was born on 17 October 1919 at Malataj, a village near Petled. He was the youngest son of Gangashankar Shastri, a physician and ritualist. His elder brother, Shankarlal Shastri, was a professor of Sanskrit at the Bahidin College, Junagadh, and a Gujarati literary critic. His grandfather, Virajlal Kalidas Shastri 1825–1892, was a scholar of Sanskrit and Prakrit languages, as well as a pioneer philologist of Gujarati and the youngest brother of the saint poet C.H. Hatem 1812–1885. As he pursued higher studies, his Ph.D. guide, Rasiklal Parekh, served as a key source of inspiration. Shastri was also influenced by the views of Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Vivekananda, and Bal Gangadhar Tilak. He married Shrivi Bhatt, daughter of an educationalist Karunashankar Kuberji Bhatt, in 1947. They had a son. Education. Hariprasad Shastri was educated at the primary school of his village, Malataj 1924–1930, and then attended A.V. High School, Malataj 1930–1932. He moved to Junagadh and joined Bahadur Kanji High School in 1932, from where he matriculated in 1936. He received B.A. in 1940 and M.A. with Sanskrit epigraphy and Art Hamagadhi language as his major subjects in 1942 from the University of Bombay. Later, he joined the Gujarat Vernacular Society, Ahmedabad, as a lecturer and started his research under the guidance of Rasiklal Parekh. He wrote his thesis on the political and cultural history of the Maitraka kingdom of Vallabhi on the basis of inscriptions of the Maitraka dynasty and was awarded Ph.D. in 1947. Academic career. In 1945, Shastri joined the B.J. Institute of Learning and Research, Ahmedabad, as a lecturer where he taught Indian culture and Sanskrit. He took roles of increasing responsibilities and was recognized as a PG teacher in Indian culture in the year 1952 and in Sanskrit in the year 1956 by Gujarat University. In 1958, he was promoted as an assistant director of the B.J. Institute and served on this position for 6 years. He served there as the director from 1968 to his retirement in 1979. He also served as a professor at Sri Ramananda Mahavidyalaya, Ahmedabad in 1955–1956 and L.D. Institute of Indology, Ahmedabad in 1958–1962. He served as the president of Gujarat Itihas Parishad from 1960 to 1962. He died on 9 August 2014 in Navaringpura, Ahmedabad. Works. Selected works by Shastri. Gujarati, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro 1952, Gujarat during the Maitraka period in 2 parts 1955, Indian culture extended in Indonesia 1957, Ancient history of Gujarat 1964, 1973, 1994, Ceylon 1969, Ancient India in 2 parts 1970, Asoka and his inscription 1972, portions of political and cultural history of Gujarat 1972–87, Indian epigraphy 1973, Indian culture spread in China 1975, the source of the ancient history of Gujarat 1978, Indian numismatics co-authored P.C. Parekh 1979–99, Ancient spread of Indian culture in neighboring countries co-authored with S.S. Shah 1980. Buddhist architecture in India 1983. The inscriptions of Gujarat, as a source of history 1983-1984. Charota reflected in Mirror of History 1989. Studies and Research 1991. The Memoirs of Life 1991. Gangashankar, The Educationalist 1991. English, Lish, 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 English. A historical and cultural study of the inscriptions of Gujarat up to 1304 AD 1989. History and culture of Gujarat during the Matraka period. Besides writing above books, Shastri also edited several books related to history of Gujarat. He served as an editor for a Gujarati magazine Buddha Prakash in 1957–58. He had authored or co-authored about 775 research papers. Recognition: Narmad Suvarna Chandrak for 1951, awarded by Narmad Sahitya Sabha in 1958 for his book Matrakal in Gujarat. Ranjitram Suvarna Chandrak for 1960, awarded by Gujarat Sahitya Sabha. Humor Suvarna Chandrak 1975. Hariprasad Kakani Gold Medal for the research paper Shri Krishna in Harivamsa, a critical study presented at the 8th session of Gujarat Itihas Parishad, Patan 1975. Selected papers: Shastri, Hariprasad 1947. The Fall of the Vallabhi Kingdom. Proceedings of the Indian History Congress. Indian History Congress. 10 238 241. JSTOR 44,137,138. Shastri, Hariprasad 1959. The Puranic Chronology of the Mauryan Dynasty. Proceedings of the Indian History Congress. Indian History Congress. 22 7883. JSTOR 44,304,272. Shastri, Hariprasad 1960. Lakini in the Study of the Early History of Gujarat. Proceedings of the Indian History Congress. Indian History Congress. 23, Part Roman 2, 170–173. JSTOR 44,137,534. Shastri, Hariprasad 1964. The date of the foundation of Ahmedabad. Proceedings of the Indian History Congress. Indian History Congress. 26, Part Roman 2, 119–123. JSTOR 44,140,333.